We are live.
Ready?
Yep.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call the Village of Mount Sterling February 12th, 2024 council meeting to order, please. May I have a roll call?
Yes, David?
Here.
Bill?
Here.
Craig?
Here.
Becky?
Here.
Ross?
Here.
Joyce?
Here.
All's present?
Wonderful. Thank you, David.
Lord, thank you for this day you provided for us, Lord. Lord, and be with the village tonight, and our council and mayor, and our safety department, our law enforcement force. And Lord, be with touching our great country tonight, Lord, with your healing hand. In Jesus' wonderful, wonderful name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May I please have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting held on January 22nd, 2024?
Have that motion.
Thank you, David.
Second.
Thank you, Ross.
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Wonderful, thank you. I do not have a mayor's report tonight. We have a rather packed agenda and a number of folks who are visiting our village tonight, as well as residents who've come out, and I want to give them the most time that we can under the circumstances. So I'm going to push it over to our pro tem for any comments that she might have this evening.
Very few comments. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. I'm so happy to see such a full house this evening. Thank you for joining us. It's been a good start to the year. Council has been off to the races, filling vacant committee seats and chairing committee meetings. I look forward this evening to hearing the results of this month's committee meetings that have been held to date. Even though all of them have not been held yet, they will be by, I would say, the first week of March. So we can always look forward to those updates as they happen. Thank you.
Wonderful. All right, so returning now to public comments section. We do have a bit of a list tonight, so I would ask everyone, please hold your comments to 3 minutes or so. I'll give you the, hoop to drag you off the stage, as it were, just so that everybody gets an opportunity to have their say. And the first one up would be Patty Hamilton this evening. Please do, please do. No, please do.
Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to come out and speak to you tonight. I truly appreciate it. Just a little bit about me. I'm running for state representative. The election will be on March 19th, early voting starting on the 21st. I served our country for 30 years in the United States Army Reserve. I served as a military policewoman in Iraq, Afghanistan, and then follow on to the Pentagon because I did so well. So I worked at the Office of the Provost Marshal General's office. There I did detainee ops and many different things that kind of pertain to today with the criminal watch list, the illegals and all of that. So terrorist watch list, that's the exact terminology. So that is a very heightened point for me. I not only did that, my husband was active duty. I served 30 years in the reserves. He served almost 30 years on active duty. So therefore, I taught school, I've worked for the VA, I've worked as a medical technician, I've done a lot of different things. But I retired as a lieutenant colonel in 2017, and we are, my husband and I, we are both retired, but we both own 10 rental properties that we have in Pickaway County that we help support our community and keep that going. I am running for office because I want to be the public servant that we should have at every level. Just like you guys are public servants to your community, I too would like to be that as your state rep. I'm a grassroots candidate. I've never run for office before, but I believe that the only way we can make change is to get in the game. So therefore, that's the reason why I'm running, is I feel that with my skill set at the policy and procedure level at the Army staff, that propels me there, along with I've done a lot in the Veterans Affairs, and I have a master's in education. So I've done quite a few things in my life. As my dad would always say, it's a jack of all trades. Sometimes you're a master of things, but maybe not everything. So, but One of the big things that brings me to Madison and Pickaway, I mean, my husband, he's originally from Circleville, but the big thing is that my dad, he was in the Air Force for 20 years, and then he decided to have a dairy farm. So that's kind of my connection with Pickaway County and Madison County is the farming. As a young kid, we would go out to the field because my dad, not only did you milk dairy cows twice a day, but you also had to pick the rock and plant the crops. Well, I always told my dad, hey Dad, we were out here picking rock last year. Why are we picking rock again this year? We have a pile over there. Are they growing? I mean, that was my question. So hard work is something that I am not afraid of. I grew up with 8 siblings, so, and my dad was very frugal, so a good Republican. So I have to tell you that is one of the bases for my situation. So is that 3 minutes?
No.
Oh, okay. I was
I don't know.
It is a telephone call. Yeah.
All right. Some of the things that really are important to me is I don't want critical race theory in our schools at all. No woke agendas should be in our schools. I'm very much a tough on crime. If you do the crime, you need to do the time. Soft on crime policies are not what we need. Another real big thing to me is that ownership, land ownership. Nobody other than U.S. citizens should own our land. I think that's the first piece of legislation that we can bring to the table that both Democrats and Republicans bipartisanly can actually say, we agree. Because if you go to China, you go to the Philippines, you go to Mexico, none of us as U.S. citizens can buy land there. And that is, we don't need that here in our country. And as a military member, our national security is at risk every time anybody buys land around our military installations. I know that Minot Air Force Base up in North Dakota is a really big one. They even have Chinese people owning land around right at Patterson Air Force Base. That's not good for us. That is a threat that we don't need. As you know, our second line of defense after the military for national security is our police and fire. I just watched a video with Butler County Sheriff. Kind of opened my eyes just a little bit more. If you haven't seen that video, you guys need to look at it and really understand that we need to be ready. I'm a 2A person. I usually carry a Glock 43X with 15-round magazine. I am prepared to defend myself just like I would expect you to do the same. Because as soon as people start taking away our guns, that's when communism will come in, and we don't want that. So all of those policies are really bad. One of the other really big things, one of the big reasons why I was talked into running was my friends and I had been speaking at the Ohio Power Siting Board, and no industrial solar on fertile farmland, because I'm not going to think that AOC knows anything, because she says you go to the grocery to get your crop, you get your food. We know in these counties that we have to go to the farm to get the crops grown, and that's the only way we can do it. So that's why no industrial solar on fertile farmland. We need to save that farmland to grow our crops. That is so very important. I understand that. I mean, where I live, we used to have a really big garden, and I've gotten away from that, and I've kind of been bad. But my son is like, Mom, come on, let's do another garden. So I'm very much into making sure that our communities are safe and that we serve our communities. I'm a part of the Soldiers Monumental Association. I help our veterans, and I also am a part of our Republican Central Committee. I'm a part of the Pickaway Ag Society and our Sportsman's Club. I am very involved in our community, and that's why I think public service is important. So I don't want to take up any more time.
You are dead on. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time. And again, Patty Hamilton, March 19th, or if you early vote, 21 February. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Okay, next up, Mr. Jacob Keever of 559 Wingate Place here in Mount Sterling.
Susan Thompson out here.
All right, well, I'm going to just keep this short and sweet. As in previous committee meetings, we've talked about potholes, I'm just gonna ask this, as I understand that streets, we talked about potholes and where they are and all this. People want an action plan. People wanna know, what are we gonna do with these potholes? North London is in really bad shape. I think my thing I wanna ask this body is what's our 10-year plan to start actually just not fixing potholes, but actually paving new roads? I understand that we're limited on our funding from the state. I've gone over that with Becky. I understand that, but getting a place where we're not patching and we're actually getting fresh, good streets, that's all.
Well, I won't speak for council. I know that our streets chair may have thoughts, or the other council members may have thoughts, but I have a 2,500 pound plan for patching potholes, and that's 2,500 pounds of cold patch. And as our village administrator can tell you, the first 250 pounds came from my back of my minivan because potholes needed to be dealt with. And so my response to that is, yes, we should have a plan. I personally have advocated for increased focus on roads and infrastructure here, Jacob, as you know, for a very, very, very long time. The problem, of course, is allocation of the budget that we have. We get a certain amount from the state, and I'm not going to excuse that. We've gone out of our way to apply for grants, including one, its most recent one, with the capital grant for almost $375,000 to try to get money to patch, or I'm sorry, to repave, not patch. The last full repaving we have done is on High Street. We actually borrowed $400,000, of which we are still repaying on that loan. So I am looking to council a little bit to be very careful about borrowing more money. We have 7 loans today. We don't really have the additional revenue to pay them back, so we're very thoughtful about that. My thought initially around patching of potholes, and I've heard it on London too, and by the way, I drive on North London going into town every morning when I come here at 8 a.m. And I go over the same potholes everybody else does, and my goal is that we patch them within 24 hours if we can find them. And I encourage anyone who wants to talk to me about potholes, if you have one that I have missed, as I don't see everything in town, but if you have one that I have missed, tell me and I will get on it right now. For example, this afternoon I noticed that there are 3 on Water Street, that need to be dealt with in front of the library. So I guess my response to you would be, we turn them around, existing ones, as fast as we can, and then we work on the budget to develop a longer-term strategy for literally cutting and replacing. And in my mind, the state routes would come first. Now, there are lots of citizens who would come to us and say, my street on, I happen to live on New Street, or my street on Cliffview is very, very, very bad, and we agree. So the question is, which one comes first, and this council has to make some hard choices, and I'll make some recommendations, but ultimately we'll make some hard choices about which one to prioritize first.
I'm done.
Yeah.
We need to have a level system of like, this is a priority pothole, medium, and maybe we can let this go. And the same with streets. We need to go with a priority.
Yep.
And
So I would say that in my case, I agree with you 1,000%, and in my case, I have made the priority the state routes.
yes.
So state routes
agree with
state routes basically come first, and our guys are trying to be on that as much as they can. Obviously, weather is a problem for us, but we have supplies now, and we're tackling them as fast as we can. Secondary streets, we try to tackle as soon as we get state routes done, and then as you see, they'll be out patching, with a cold patch mix, which was recommended by ODOT.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your thoughts. Okay, next up, Tamara Hall, please, of Woods Opossum Road here, just outside of town.
Hi, good evening, Mayor.
Right
Council
there,
members.
right there, there you go.
For this microphone?
Yep,
Okay.
right there.
Okay, so I actually own a business in town, the Crossroads Cottage, right here at 25 South London Street. And so I'm wearing my Chamber of Commerce hat today. I serve on their board of directors. And so basically, I'm coming here to talk about ordinance 2021-012, and that's involving food truck vendors and a required permit that ordinance seeks. So I was able to attend the most recent street committee meeting where they discussed the chamber's calendar of events and our request for street closures. And I know it was discussed with ODOT's office and the sheriff's office. And I believe Mr. Tilley is going to be bringing forth a recommendation to council, if not tonight, sometime soon, to approve those events and our request for those street closures. So with that said, if that recommendation does get approved and passes with council, I would like to ask the members of council tonight if they would consider waiving ordinance 2021-12 for those events on your list, which you have done so in the past couple of years. You know, I know that the chamber, we work tremendously hard to put on village events, and we've grown it year after year, and especially coming out of COVID, it hasn't been very easy. And in order to attract quality vendors, especially in the food truck arena, we have a lot of competition, especially with some of the larger cities like Columbus and London and Courthouse. And so we do have a formal application process that we put those food truck vendors through, where we ask for the required proof of insurance and all of the licenses, and then we do charge a minimal fee. And so with that being said, I know that since this ordinance has been passed, I don't think there's been an actual paper trail or some kind of an administrative front to collect applications or fees from the vendors. And because I think there's confusion on the chamber side, and not only that, but on our vendor side, of where they go to do that application. Is it here at Town Hall? Is it at the county level? And who's in, you know, going to be taking those applications? And then can they get them online? Can they apply online? And so if the ordinance doesn't pass where you waive that for the time being until we can figure out the logistics, you know, maybe we can partner with the chamber and figure out, maybe it can be a one application process of some sort to collect it all at one stop, and then we can work out payment back to the council. So anyway, we're just trying to work together in this because we want to keep growing these events, and I know that eventually we're not going to continue to keep, you know, moving this ordinance and waiving it. It's going to have to, you know, be implemented at some point. So anyway, that's what I came here today, and I just asked for that consideration.
Wonderful, thank you. And I was able to attend one of your meetings most recently, and I thought it was a great organization, and you guys have done a wonderful job for the community, so thank you.
Okay.
Do I hear a motion from the floor to
I'll make that
waive
motion.
enforcement of this particular ordinance? Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Oh, thank you, David. Shall we do the
roll
honors?
call?
Yep.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
All right, wonderful, thank you. You have that.
And just for the public's thought and comment, 2021-12 is the waiving of the food truck permit charge, okay? I know she referred to it as the number, but if people are wanting to know, that's what the ordinance was.
Okay.
Could I ask, I know we've had food trucks before, what process did they go through for the application? Was that through chamber? Because I don't think it was through the village.
It was through
I'm
chamber.
going to defer. It was
through
probably, it was
chamber.
before
Okay.
me, but yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, okay.
okay, thank you.
All right, next up, Mr. Gerald Spradlin of 27 North High Street. You have the floor, sir. 3 minutes, and the microphone over there.
Yep.
I won't start the timer.
Well, to begin with, I want you all to know that I'm not here to cast any aspersions on any one of you. And I'm here to talk about the closure of the street. So I just want to make that clear. In fact, it's well-intended. I think you all are doing a great job to consider the entertainment of people here in the village. But I'm here, I really take exception to something that I read in the paper here today. And there was a statement, apparently there was some talk between two council people about citizens raising issues. But I'm reading here, let me see if I can find it. you expressed the views of a few complainers. And I really take exception to that personally, and to all the people that have issues with the closure of the streets. This word complainers was used as a noun, and that has a very different meaning than if you use the word complaining as a verb. So, anyway, back to that. I'd just like you folks to put yourself in other people's shoes, where you're raising your family, you have children, property, etc., and try to envision yourself living there with the tsunami of traffic and big semi-trucks, parking issues, and all that. You know, people have their own concerns, and they should be able to express those concerns without being referred to as complainers. They're just trying to look out for themselves, their children, their families, and the neighborhood in general. So that's really all I have to say.
Very kind of you to come out
Okay.
tonight. Thank you.
I would love to address that if I could, because I was the one quoted there saying complainers. It was a very unexpected turn of events when I asked for the streets closing, because everyone in the past had voted yes except for one committee member. The mayor had just, like he said, attended a meeting. He knew we were going to ask for those street closures, so it was a little shocking. I apologize for using a noun, complainers. I should have said complaining. So I will now say for a few that were complaining. But I will let you know they did hold a streets meeting, and not many of the complaints were brought up at that street meeting. There was no suggestion to move the event. There was no suggestion to shorten the event. It was just a little bit of political theater just to reiterate the event. And I don't know, just a little control thing there. But I will say, you know, I apologize if I personally offended you. And I know in the past, we have been over backwards, Frank, to make sure that your property was always protected.
And I hope
We've
you will
always,
continue to do that.
and we have been over backwards for that. And we take all complaints seriously from community members. My point was not spoiling events for a few complaints versus the enjoyment of hundreds. So I do wish I could have rephrased that, but it was kind of a heated moment and I was a little bit emotional,
I
so,
understand that.
okay.
And my issue is that in the past, former Mayor Darlington, I believe, you know, would encourage people to come and express their views on things or their concerns. And reading the word complainer, I'm thinking, well, people maybe. So, glad we got that clear. Thank you very much.
Finally, last public comment, Mr. Narwhal, please, 24 North High Street.
I live on High Street, which is one of the streets in question. My concern is always going to be for the safety of my boys over there. They play out front on the sidewalk near the street, so there's always an opportunity for a ball to go astray and one of them to go after it. And obviously, if you're going to drastically increase the traffic to that street, my concern goes through the roof.
Yep.
So that's pretty much it.
Thank you. All right, that's very good comments.
Place sign, is there one on that street?
I don't know if there is.
I was wondering,
Oh, we can-
do we have one there?
Yeah, okay. I'll defer to Jackie.
I know there was one, yeah.
Yeah, there's cars, there's always cars parked along the
Mhm.
street. There's no driveways, so kid can run between cars and easily get
Easily.
get missed. So
I understand. Understand.
Can
That's
I
why
address that,
it's important to
please?
plan.
Could I address that, please?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Spradlin, and you for coming. We appreciate it. It's always been a concern of mine. It's no secret. I am the one who did ask to have the parking or the street situation, the closures taken to the street committee. It wasn't political, it wasn't public theater. It was sincerely to get the sheriff's department along with ODOT together with the streets committee and council members in one location to come up with a plan to make it safer. They all agreed, all the players that were here agreed. It was a very productive meeting. Everyone is on the same page with what we need to do. I apologize. I wish there were some other, something else logical that we could do, but to have these events, the ones that have been presented to us, on the positive side to that, it looks like Summer Jam is a 3-day event. The rest of the closures are going to be within a half a day or a 1 day. So I do hope that gives you some peace, and knowing it hopefully won't be for longer terms than that. But thank you for coming in. We're going to do the best we can to keep the kids safe. And I think that we're going to be able to achieve that with the sheriff's department and ODOT's, also coming forward with some ideas for us to help make it safer. There's some parking issues as well, and I know that doesn't really apply to the kids' safety, and I apologize for that. I just don't know what else I can do.
At a high level, or just bullet points, what are some of the suggestions for making it safer?
Some of the signs were blowing over, so the signage was a big deal. So we've ordered, I believe, additional signs, and we've received some. I just found out today. So the signage is going to be better. Hopefully the placement of the signage. I know there's an alley in question. That's going to be closed off to transportation going, either way on that alley. They want the signage to be braced better because the winds was too easy to blow down. I'm not quite sure, Bill or the mayor, they were there. They might be able to address some other
Obviously, the
issues.
sheriff's office on deputy placement, so one of the issues is exactly what you're highlighting, speed, as well as folks going across current. So they shouldn't be going, if it's one way, you shouldn't be going the opposite way down a one-way
Right.
street. So we're working with sheriff's department. As Joyce has said, ODOT's gonna update the Waze and Google Maps designations so that Mount Sterling hopefully will, divert traffic around. This is a really big deal right now with the 71 construction and the solar construction. So I think that having more sheriff's deputy presence, having more road signs and awareness of not coming here unless you absolutely intend on it,
Right.
that'll make a dent in the issue. But I'm very sensitive, and I've met with you before, and we continue to stay on top of it as best we can.
Yeah, and that doesn't completely allay my concerns, but
Yeah, I understand.
appreciate the effort.
No, I understand.
Well, hopefully, like the mayor said, having this on their radar, that the truck drivers will know ahead of time before they come into town that they're going to have to be detoured again. A lot of them are already aware that it happens every year. I don't know that they know when. So now that will be out there on their radar. So hopefully they can avoid coming through town altogether.
And on that note, we've had our 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Normal. All right. We have no executive session tonight. So next up, I was going to say Jack Dill himself in
Speaking of the sheriff.
person.
Mr.
Thank you very
Yu.
much.
All right, you guys got the nature report in front of you? Has anybody got any
I
questions?
got one question. What's an unwanted guest? Somebody said, get the heck off my property, or what is an unwanted?
Show up, somebody, like, say you come to my house, so I don't want you there. I
Uh-huh.
tell you to leave, you won't leave. That's an unwanted guest.
Can it be a relative then?
Yeah,
Okay, just want to know that, thanks.
absolutely.
Jack, what's a business check?
Yeah, I was gonna point that out.
Yeah.
If you guys notice on there, there's 31 business checks in the last 2 weeks. Recently, Green and Son got broke into.
Oh, yeah.
So our deputies down here have been hitting all the businesses after dark, making sure doors are locked, and so they're checking businesses.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Any other questions on this?
It's a lot shorter than it has been in a while.
But it's a lot busier.
Yeah, it looks pretty busy.
37 traffic stops.
Yeah.
Hey, Jack, has anybody brought anything up about the solar eclipse that's coming in April? Or is there gonna be anything that's special that's gonna happen around here? Just curious.
You're gonna see a lot of deputies.
Okay,
We're not allowed to take that day off.
okay.
Nobody is.
Yeah.
So,
We appreciate your partnership on that. The solar eclipse, we're not taking lightly. I know we've been talking about this a little bit, and
yeah, it's gonna draw in a lot of people. Mount Sterling gonna get a bunch, we don't know. But it draws lots and lots of people from out of town.
any other questions for Jack tonight?
All right?
All right, thank you, sir, for
I'm
showing.
under 3 minutes.
All right, yes, you certainly are. All right, we have no report from our law director. Village administrator, you're up.
Thank you, Mayor Drake and members of council. I really don't have a long report today, other than the boys are thinking spring, but we know better than to think spring because winter's not done with us yet. So the salt supply is in good shape, so we don't have to worry about any of that. I would like to go back to the pothole complaint. We've talked about this before, so you know how I feel about the potholes. All right, this council spent $40,000 last year on a Durapatch machine. And our two guys that work the streets filled over 400 potholes last year when the conditions were better than they are now. It's very difficult to fill a pothole right now and make it stick. We got some new product, and hopefully it works. Shouldn't be permanent. But we'll probably be back out this spring fixing those ones we fixed this winter. Just know that the guys work very hard to do their job out there. Any questions?
Hey, Tom, I got a compliment for you guys. You weren't here at one time about what you all did during that snowstorm. I saw them, you guys were out there as soon as it started falling. I appreciate the hard work they all do, and you too, Tom.
I'll let them know that.
And I think it's also important to thank you for your hard work and in service to Mount Sterling. I believe we have a small announcement to make, which is to say you will be departing us at the end of the month.
Yes.
Thank you for coming to work here. It was a great 2 years. And I don't know what you're going to do from.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I don't know what you're going to do from here, because this is very exciting. It's what
It's a blast.
you get up for, right? But thank you. Tom, thank you for the report.
I enjoyed working with you.
Thank you.
So this would be a motion to accept Tom Burns' resignation effective February the 29th of 2024.
Just in
You have
case
that
anyone
motion
is,
with regret, because Tom is a good friend of mine.
that's
but he
right.
was
Just in
good.
case anyone is wondering, yes, it is the 29th this year. Leap year.
Leap year.
Is there a second on that, please?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Ross.
So that was David and Ross. Okay, roll call. Bill?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
A couple different.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Joyce, I think that slides down.
Good luck on your campaign.
Should go to that ridge right there.
Okay.
Right there.
Nope, down there. Right there.
Sorry, yes, it
Yeah.
is, I believe by my count, yes, sir, it
I'm
did
not
pass.
touching it.
Sorry, we have a bit of,
Are you going to stay?
Hey, Tom, I appreciate you did good, and he's always been a good friend. Appreciate you, buddy.
thank
Oh, just these two whenever zoning comes up.
me too.
I want to nominate them.
All right, thank you. I believe that motion
To the
passed.
zoning committee.
Thank you very much. Okay,
Bill Starr, Linda Blankenship.
council, everybody, back to the agenda as it were.
Back to
Well, we
order.
have no building and zoning. So it's, as you know, this is all running on a schedule here. So Courtney, you're next up. Let's go ahead and have a fiscal officer and clerk of council report, please.
Okay, so I didn't get any comments or questions or concerns by council members on your reports that you have dated. Again, these reports here were dated from January the 19th through February the 9th. Again, you guys do not have a bank reconciliation to approve tonight, as the year has not been closed out. So the year-end reports are still being submitted and reviewed by the state auditors as they are required to be done. So I'm still waiting back for them to send back the okay. So I still have a little bit of work to do in regards to posting that. Again, please, if the public has any questions or concerns or would like to have a meeting with me in regards to any financials or the year-end process, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be glad to talk. I did take one meeting last week with Mr. Keever, so I encourage others to ask. So if that is no other comments or questions, I would ask for a motion to accept the appropriation status report, the revenue status report, the receipt listing report, the payment listing report, the comparison of budget and appropriated report, the cash summary by fund report, and the reader report.
Do we have that motion? Thank you, Craig.
Second?
Thank you, Joyce.
Craig, Joyce, roll call. Craig,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Okay, and I have just 2 pieces of documentations to pass out for signature.
Thank you. And I would also, one last, I could say, comment on that is that 2024 is our audit year. So we'll have an independent auditor who will be looking at our books.
Yep.
Which happens every other, couple of years or so.
2 years.
Yep. So this is us. All right. Finance, Joyce Phillips.
Thank you. We met on February the 7th. We discussed the street fund, which is between empty and positively, I believe. So that's something that we're going to be bringing forward in the future to see how best we can fund that. We also tossed around some ideas for generating some revenue. I don't have a full report on that for you right now. We're just in the brainstorming stage. As that progresses, I'll bring that to council. We discussed grants, which I'm going to defer in just a moment to the mayor to talk about. We, as he mentioned earlier, he purchased a pallet of cold patch to fill potholes in the winter, to the tune of about $1,300, I believe. An unexpected expense was the repair of the Kubota for the VFD, which is a variable, that's not even right? What is it called?
Kubota needed a new starter. That's the deal they drive around town.
Right, the Kubota, but wasn't it $600?
VFD is
For water.
Well,
That's water.
well, for about
Okay, right, that's from the water department, but I bring it up at finance because it was an expense that we hadn't planned on for the VFD. The cost was $7,600 for parts and $3,500 for labor. Our next meeting will be held the first Wednesday of March, whatever date that falls on. And that's all I have, but I would like for you to speak about the grants, if the timing's right or whenever.
sure, we can speak about grants. As everyone has heard, at least at this meeting before, we were awarded approximately $138,000 in grants to improve the downtown and install crosswalks, high visibility signage, and audible, what do you want to call them? Audible signaling for the disabled and low vision. So I'm looking really super forward to those. Those are dollars that have to be spent this year, and that'll really change our downtown. And those were some requests that residents have had for quite some time. So I'm really excited about those. And then we have grant requests in, which we haven't heard back yet because they haven't really landed on anybody's desk. Well, we have another couple, and we're looking forward to keep on going and filling more out as we can. So that's all the update I was able to give finance.
Can I add something else to that too? That,
Sure.
The awarded grant for the $138,000, that was not a contribution from the village.
Oh, even better, yeah. So just to be clear, that was no match on our part. So sometimes we have to have a 25-ish% match. So that was very generous, and we're incredibly thankful to have gotten that one. No match on our part. That was absolutely fantastic, and we really appreciate the partnership with the Department of Disabilities, and look forward to talking with them more. They should be here, hopefully, in the next couple of sessions.
That first Wednesday would be March the 6th. What time is that meeting?
Finance is at 3:30.
Thank you.
Pleasant Township, David.
Yes, we met and we talked about a couple key things. One is checking the township roads for potholes and also preparing for the mowing season. So we're getting the blades ready and the tractors. We know spring's going to come, that grass is going to grow. And paid the bills, and that's about all.
Okay, wonderful. Squad, Joyce Phillips.
We will be meeting on Wednesday at 8:00 PM will be our,
Okay.
next meeting.
All right. Fire, Ross?
Yes. First off, I wanted to welcome the new chair, Darrell Chamfer, to the fire meetings. And there was also another member that was named Mike Miller that has now replaced the two fellows, or one fellow that left and the other one moved. The fire department was awarded a grant of $3,818.75, which is used for new pagers. There was a $995 donation from the Eagles Lodge in Circleville to the fire departments that work in Pickaway County, which ours assists in a lot of them. And that was for emergency plugs for electric cars. So if your electric car crashes, they put this plug in it and it disconnects everything, so the battery won't burn up.
Just discharge.
Right. So that was awarded. We went over the budget line for line and accepted it. And our next meeting is February 28th at 8 o'clock.
Wonderful, thank you. Water, wastewater, Joyce.
Thank you. We met also on February the 7th, and we had discussions that centered around the water tower update, meter updates. The guys have done a great job with Tom's leadership there on getting that EPA violation down to about 4 or 5 meters. We discussed a plan on moving forward with that. We also discussed moving forward with bulk water installation quotes. And then, as Tom mentioned before, the VFD that needed replaced. And that was at the water plant. So, and I've already given you those numbers. If you want specifics on updates, please reach out to me or attend our meetings. The next meeting will be whatever date, Becky, you gave in March.
Wednesday, the 6th.
Wednesday, the 6th, and that will be at 2:30 PM. Thank you.
Streets, Bill.
Well, there's not a whole lot to say about that. Streets, other than what's already been said, but I got a couple of things I want to touch on. I want to talk about, the meeting in particular. We got everybody together. We had ODOT, we had the Sheriff's Department. We had a very good meeting. We got a lot hashed out. We talked about how much of notice they want for street closures. Make sure, well, we already talked about make sure signs are in good shape and secured, and we talked about visitor parking. We had this meeting on the 26th of January because we decided to put the decision on hold from the 22nd council meeting because we wanted to have a meeting and talk with these people. Therefore, we're not flying by the seat of our pants like we have done in the past. So all the blatantly false, lying information that was put on Facebook was put out there by people that had a dark agenda and were just trying to cause problems. At no time did this village have any intention on canceling those events. But we wanted to make sure that we talked to the right people and got the right information so we can make a good, qualified decision and plan. And that being said, we covered a whole bunch, some other stuff where we come up with a quick patch for the potholes. The gentleman from ODOT told us about that. Other than that, well, that's about it.
That's about it? All right, thank you very much. Parks and Recs, Joyce.
We have not met yet. We will be meeting, I have that written down somewhere, on the 26th at 6 o'clock.
Wonderful.
26th of February at 6 o'clock.
Got it. Record retention, David.
Oh, very interesting since I became the committee leader. I didn't realize how much town history we would go through. I remember, Andy, you mentioned this, and going through all those and stuff and finding what throw away and what not to keep. It's good thing, and like I said, if anybody ever gets a chance and wants to go through that, it is really worth your time. And if I ever find anything of Lewis's Timmons name on it, I want it.
Well,
It'll be a great grandpa.
we'll try to at least get you a copy.
Yeah, but everything went fine. We went through a lot of documents, and like God worked
Tee
out.
things up for the Historical Society and for shredding, both.
Yes.
So, wonderful. All right. Nuisance and abatement. Becky?
Yes. We met tonight, 6 o'clock. Our next meeting will be the second Monday of the month, March 11th at 6 o'clock. We are still looking for 2 community members to serve on the committee. Again, it will be the second Monday of the month only. And we did set our days for community cleanup days for May 3rd through the 5th. We will have more information to follow.
Great.
It.
All right. Safety Block Watch.
Oh, that's
Bill.
me again. We had a meeting this afternoon at 5 o'clock. We talked, about a vast number of things. Talked a little bit about the sheriff's contract. We want to make sure, we want to try to get that on a council work session with the sheriff involved, so we can hash that out and have get everything out on the table that we want to talk about. For everybody that's got something they want to ask him about. We talked about the high amount of human trafficking in Madison County. My best guess is from working, and I used to travel from Columbus to London for several years before I moved down here. Interstate 70, there's a lot of that happening on Interstate 70, and it probably ain't much different on Interstate 71. Then we talked about a Butler County Sheriff's report about a very high terrorism risk we have going on right now. Then we touched on the solar eclipse, the traffic, pending traffic that we're expecting. Hope there's no issues. And we about some stop signs that have not been taken down and needs to be taken down, and stop signs that needs to be put up and have not been put up yet.
Right.
But our next meeting will be, I didn't read, with, it'll be March 4th,
March 4th,
6 p.m.
6 p.m. And do not look at the sun during a solar eclipse
Not
directly.
look at the sun during,
Or with a pair of binoculars. Any of that. Don't do
When
that.
is that?
It's April 8th at
April 8th.
approximately 3:05 in the afternoon.
they'll tell you not to, but I always look through it through one of my welding hoods. If I can look at that welder's arc through my welding hood, which is literally as bright as the sun, if you're standing right next to the sun and not hurt your eyes, I should be able to look at it through that. But they'll tell you not to.
I still don't
They'll sell you
recommend
these
anybody
fancy-
experiment, so don't just,
We used to look through a screen thing
Yeah.
when we were
Okay.
kids. We were crazy.
You use the right equipment, friends. Come on, everybody. Don't, this is not, you don't want to experiment with this. This is,
Just watch out for the dark side.
this is not good. This is not good. All right, planning, Joyce.
I can't think. David just turned on Pink Floyd in my mind.
Here we go again.
Sorry. Planning, yes, we met. We met the 23rd of January. Thank you. I was looking at February here. I forgot my report, but I do know that we met and we discussed a rezoning, not a rezoning.
Yeah, so. the-
Replat.
Yes,
Okay,
there
that's
was
what it's called.
there was a pending request to replat a
Yes.
specific piece of property
And-
on Jedwin Drive.
Yes, and what we did was we approved to move forward with the engineering portion of it. We did not approve anything to happen. We just approved the engineering portion to move forward so that they can get their information together to bring back to us. For planning, I would like to make a motion that we approve Alice Hicks to be on the planning committee.
Joyce's first motion?
Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you, David.
Roll call? Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Craig?
Abstain.
Right,
Motion
Still got
passed.
goes from pass. All right, and that's it.
And that's all I have. We'll meet again, I'm sorry, on
pardon me.
February 27th.
Mm-hmm.
Are we meeting again then?
They're always on the calendar, and
Okay.
if there's business to bring before the committee, it will happen then, but
Okay.
otherwise, it will be canceled.
Okay.
Same with zoning. Basically, we don't have meetings to have meetings, but if there's ultimately business to have, then we'll have one. It's no problem.
And so what I would say to that is watch the website. If it's canceled, it'll be on the website.
Yep.
All meetings are posted.
Thank you.
Zoning, Ross?
Okay, first off, I'd like to ask council to consider adding 2 new citizens to the zoning commission. It'd be Phil Starr and Linda Blankenship.
All right, you're making that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Ross, Craig. Roll call is Ross,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
Okay.
And can I go ahead and add something to his
Please
thing?
do, please do.
So they actually approved a variance for, property 15015.
Okay.
US 62. That was for a setback for an OPI district, which was approved. And, the zoning director, generously offered to go ahead and, have a little session with them to get some of the new members, because we've got pretty much a whole new
Brand new group.
set
Yep.
of people. So
Yep.
he would like to go ahead and have a meeting again. It is a public meeting. It will be posted on the website about requirements and if they have any questions and how they're supposed to determine variance requests. So sorry to.
Yeah, that's fine, thank you.
Good to know.
Any other thing?
No, I was going to ask Courtney to.
Perfect,
say that,
thank
so-
you.
That's taken care of.
All right, thank you very much. Tree beautification, Becky.
Yes, we just recently had a meeting, and our future meetings will be the second Monday of the month, which is March 11th, and those will be at 1 o'clock every second Monday of the month. At this meeting, we reconfirmed, we do need to get verification from the school and from the place we're getting our trees from, but we will be having an Arbor Day celebration at Mason Park on 4/19, and 2 trees will be planted by the Madison Plains third graders at that event. And then on 4/20, we will have an Arbor Day community tree giveaway. We are getting a lot of saplings. We had a committee member attend training and found out there was an opportunity to get free trees, which we took advantage of. And when those come to us, we want to offer them to anyone in the community to come pick them up. So that will be on April the 20th. That's a Saturday. And that'll be a 10 to noon event. It'll be at the gazebo, and here on Town Hall lawn will be both places. So you will hear more about that later, as soon as, again, the tree company has confirmed they'll be in by then and everything. But we're looking forward to that. And then also, the tree committee is going to participate in the community cleanup days, which I previously mentioned are 5/3 to 5/5. We're going to help in planting with our remainder of our budget last year. We purchased some tree trimmings, supplies, chainsaws, and other whatnots. And then we also purchased 8 semi-mature trees that will be planted. So we already have plans for the children to plant 2 of them on Arbor Day event. And then we will probably, hopefully, have the assistance of community members getting those other 6 in the ground. And we did decide this year to make the park our location of beautification for these trees. So again, you'll hear more about that. And then we are also, that same weekend, going to do cleanup around Mount Sterling's oldest tree. We've discovered the oldest tree, and it does have a lot of growth around it of other bushes and trees and shrubs, and we're going to clean out an area and make that a nice little vista. It's over near the water plant and near the park. So eventually we hope to have the park maybe connected to that tree. So those are some of the things we are doing. We did lose 2 committee members, and I would like to make a motion to replace those 2. And the second ordinance on your agenda here will be to amend the rules of council, so we can even add another member. It's a committee that a lot of people want to be on, and I will tell you, we will be we'll be attending on May 9th, Tree City Conference in Worthington, where we will actually become a tree city. Mount Sterling has met all the qualifications through the last year, and we will become a tree city. So it's really exciting. We'll be getting that award that day. But I do want to add 2 committee members now, so they can be recognized at the next meeting. And then we have ordinance 2024-02, where we'd like to amend the rules of council and add a third. So
Okay, so you can only, so your legislation, you cannot ask for the motion to approve the people because the ordinance has to be approved first.
I just want to replace the 2 like everybody else did, like Alice
the 2.
Hicks.
Okay,
I
so
just want to
Sydney-
replace the 2 that
Yes.
are gone, and then when we amend the rules of council, we can add the third
Yeah.
later. So,
She does have, so what she's saying is there were 2 members that were once on the committee. They have since moved out or gotten other jobs that couldn't let them come to these meetings. So the replacement is to just replace those people here. And then the legislation is to add 2 additional members to make it a fuller committee from 5 to 8.
okay.
Okay?
So I do want to add Joanne Schoblock and Jacob Kiever
Okay,
at
is
this
there-
time.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, David.
So
Okay,
that was,
Roz?
Becky and then David. Okay, we'll do a roll call. David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes?
Ross?
Yes.
And Joyce?
Yes.
Okay. And that's all I have until
It was a
the
little confusing,
the
but
ordinance. Yeah, sorry about that. I just know they all have to be recognized differently at meetings, so I might as well get those 2 on there. Okay.
and then can I ask for a motion as well to add to yours?
Mm-hmm.
This would be a motion for a council in the village to approve an Arbor Day event on April the 19th April the 19th, 2024 at Mason Park. This is what she was referring to, is having the MP students come here, which they've done.
Several years.
Yeah, so that would be just to allow them to hold that event.
I'll have that motion on.
Thank you. Is
I'll
there a second?
second.
Thank you.
Who was-
Bill?
I'll second.
Roll call, Joyce?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
And then the second motion is to approve the tree giveaway on April the 20th, 2024, from 10 a.m. to noon at the gazebo. That would be the tree giveaway that we've received free.
You have that motion?
Second.
Joyce, Ross? And roll calls, David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
All right. We're good to go on that. It's a worthy committee, and look forward to seeing more come out. Okay, ordinances and resolutions. Would you like to read the first
Yeah,
one?
yep.
Ordinance 2024-01.
Yep, is an ordinance accepting the 2024 estimated tax rates and revenues for Mount Sterling, Ohio. This would be on your second reading.
Is there a motion for that? Thank you, Craig.
Right,
Is there a second, please?
Yes.
Thank you, Ross.
Ross? Okay, roll call. Bill?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Right.
And the next one is ordinance 2024-02. This is what Becky was referring to. This is being placed on the first reading, which is an ordinance amending the rules of council. This is first reading.
Okay.
Have that motion.
What,
Thank
what, can I ask, what are we amending?
This is to be the rules of council to increase the tree committee from 5 members to 8 members.
That's the only thing that's being changed in.
That's the only,
Okay, okay, this is the first reading?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Great.
So David placed the first.
Mm-hmm. Is there a
I'll
second?
second it.
Thank you, Bill.
Okay, roll call. Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
All right.
All right, the next is a resolution, which is Resolution 2024-01, a resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to renew agreement with the Madison County for the operations of the facilities. This is on the second reading.
Mhm. Is it-
I'll make that.
Thank.
I'll second.
Okay, thank
Craig
you,
was
Dick,
first.
Craig, David.
David? Okay, roll call. Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Right.
And the last resolution, which is being placed on the first reading, is resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute necessary paperwork to have the village of Mount Sterling join the Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission.
Mhm.
This is something, if I may.
Go
say,
ahead. Yeah.
So this is something that the committee talked about last year. It was a $2,000 or $2,500 membership fee, which is, this Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission designs, executes, layers zoning, and helps for the growth, of sending this to, members that are interested in purchasing properties or annexations. This is a really good membership that we would be utilizing through planning and both zoning. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that this is a planned budget item that was approved, but it was not approved with new money. This was something that West Jefferson has agreed to not bill us for for a portion of his services that he provided for the last quarter of the year, so that we could pay for that. So this was something in his generosity from his tenure with us.
We've gotten a lot of value out of Morpsey. We've already used them for some GIS mapping stuff, and it's already paid for itself. So I'm very, very pleased to recommend that we move forward on this.
This would be on the first reading.
Is there a motion for this, please?
Make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you, Craig.
Okay, Ross?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky? Yes.
All right, thank you. On to roundtable.
On roundtable, I had a meeting with the American Legion and the rest of the commanders. We're so glad that street's going to be closed off on November 11th because the ceremony is so sacred to us. I'm so glad that. And also, I got thinking about the summer jam. For some kids, that's their only Kings Island they have in the village. And you go talk to some of the parents, and I talked to a lot of them. They said that gives them a chance to ride rides and stuff. So it's a great thing it's done. So I just wanted to bring that up.
So is,
Yep, go ahead.
are we gonna make a motion to, close the streets?
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I was
accept-
ready to
accept
try
the
to ask.
calendar. Yeah, accept the
All right,
calendar.
just-
I'll make a motion to close the streets for those events that we talked about in the last council meeting.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Okay, roll
Let's
call?
do a quick roll call.
Yep.
Good?
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Okay, and that was the events that we had from our last meeting, which, again, for motion purposes, is the summer jam. The 4th of July would have a rolling stop. There is a street car show on September the 23rd. The Christmas in the Village.
Well, nope, Veterans Day.
And
Our Veterans Day,
Veterans Day
That was in
before,
there.
and then Christmas in the
Yep.
Village.
That was the
Yep.
one was that.
I heard one event's on April 19th. That's another holiday.
Yeah.
My birthday.
that
Not
would
for
be
me,
different.
then.
It would be David's birthday. I'm sure there'll be a marching band for that one.
I would like to, I got a couple of
Go for it.
comments. Okay. In regards to the summer jam and things, I want to thank the street committee for just voting or bringing it up again, and everyone for voting yes. I want to thank the community, the business owners who expressed their frustration and concern over the no votes at last council meeting. No one put anything out on Facebook that I'm aware of that was lies. I believe people watched the council meeting and decided for themselves what their eyes saw. And no one at any time was flying by the seat of their pants in the Chamber of Commerce, I'll tell you that. We've done this for years, and I will tell you, we've called in ODOT last year. We called in the Sheriff's Department last year. We called in the village administrator and both street workers last year, and someone that the street committee forgot to call in to their meeting that just duplicated exactly what we do every year was they forgot to invite the Chamber of Commerce, who pays for everything, who organizes everything, who does all the legwork. We weren't even invited. So my question to you, Bill, you're the committee chair. Does the village plan on taking over in a different role the organization, the monetary expenses and risk, the contract signing? Does the village plan on doing that, or is the Chamber of Commerce still expected to do that? Because we were not invited to this meeting that we have the exact same meeting every year.
Well,
I'm just
this
curious.
meeting- This meeting, well, everybody knew it was happening.
Right. Well, the meetings we have every year, everyone knows are happening. We always get ODOT, got us on Google Maps last year.
I'm
The
not
extra,
arguing with you about
well,
this.
then don't, because you would be wrong.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah, because it was just an exact duplication. Okay, so with that said, we just need to do better.
It's true, we do.
Yes, we do. And the other things I wanted to bring up was this Thursday, Madison Plains is having a tour of their facilities. Madison Plains Local School District at 6 p.m. Thursday. The start place will be the intermediate building, and this is a tour of the facilities. Administration will be there, board member representation will be there, public officials will be there. Their intent is to allow a public tour of the facilities to focus on the infrastructure, safety, and security of Madison Plains. So I encourage everyone to at least go out and have a look around. You judge for yourself, you make your own decisions, but at least be open-minded and go out and have a look around. I've taken the tour. It's eye-opening. It's eye-opening. So I encourage everyone at 6 p.m. to go to the intermediate building at Madison Plains and take that tour. I know they would appreciate it. I also wanted to, in the newspaper, Madison Plains just did some inductees into the Hall of Fame, their Athletic Hall of Fame. Those people were Darius Dingus, Joan Boyle, who was a teacher, Jared Conley, Sabrina Valerie, and my most favorite special one of all, Bailey Stevens Davidson. She was inducted into Madison Plains Hall of Fame for outstanding golf, and she is my niece, and I'm very proud of her. So congratulations to all those athletes and all those teams that were recently inducted into the Madison Plains Hall of Fame. And that's all I have.
Okay, others at round table. I have a comment, I'll make one, but I'll give others a shot for it first.
I'm sorry?
Any other comments for
No,
round
I
table?
don't have any.
Okay. I had the opportunity to attend the Dolly and Me tea this weekend. That's an unusual one for me, I must admit. But I have to tell you that I have attended it now multiple years. Thank you, Jack. I know you were judging me quietly over there. I wouldn't miss it for the world. This is an opportunity that's unlike any other in our community, and the Friends of the Library do a heck of a job. And frankly, every dime goes to programming and books at the library. So the Friends do a fantastic job. It was the biggest one they'd ever had, so 150 people came out to that. In full period costume and dress. We worked Friday night to set some things up. The whole place was just done up amazing. So really, really, really kudos, hats off to them. I'll use this podium to give them a shout out because they are very special and very treasured in the community. So thank you for everyone who came out, and more importantly for everybody who also donated to the cause. They're
Mayor,
really,
I'd like to
really
bring this
well.
up. You brought up about
And
the
no, I didn't
library.
wear a bowler or anything like
You
that.
brought up about the library. Well, the Timmons Brothers, March 16th at 1 p.m. We're going to do the history of the rock and roll albums, the
That's right.
famous covers. We heard me mention the Dark Side of the Moon, but the key thing and how the history of rock and roll and the covers go a lot with our country, and that'll be at 1 p.m. on March 16th,
Yep.
and we'll be doing the presentation.
Thank you, David.
And with your Dolly and Me tea, a shout out to Madison Plains Key Club.
yes.
I believe they set up for that, and then they volunteered and worked that event. So good
Yep.
for them, young people.
Absolutely. No question about it. Any other comments tonight for roundtable? Otherwise, we're adjourned. Thank you.
9 minutes late. No, I don't use them. Jave, you probably use koozies. You want one?
Yeah, I'll take them. I'll use them for something, guys.
I'll take the water.